So if you pay attention to any comic book shit in the news, James Gunn got hired as the head of DC, and he is going to restructure everything about DC because most of the movies in the DC realm suck pretty bad, in my opinion. Not trying to offend anyone that does like DC, but he pretty much fired Henry Cavill as Superman.
For the most part, everyone.
Yeah, he fired everyone in Justice League. He's firing
Everyone,
he's letting everyone
but
go.
Margot
Robbie, and
yeah.
I think what's his name, John Cena.
Hey, John Cena's. Oh yeah.
Toby, can you please keep this going while I go take a peek?
Yeah. Fuzz, are you a fan of any of the DC stuff at all?
Not the movies. Comics, yes. Movies, not really, because they've never made a good one. So, like I lose interest very quickly. With the DC movies, like I just lose interest. But I did like him as Superman. That's what's really fucked up, is I thought he was a great Superman. So I really don't have an opinion on this because I don't care for DC all that much.
Adam, do you give any care about the DC universe at all?
Yeah, I think growing up when I was a kid, I was really into comics, so it's cool to have a more condensed universe to immerse in by the movies. So I try and keep up at least, I'm usually behind by like one movie, so I'm fairly always caught up by it. So yeah, I think that's cool. I was just looking up James Gunn's past work, and so I think it's cool. I think you gotta come in and fucking kind of like wipe shit clean sometimes to start fresh. Especially if he has a whole different vision. He can't just be working with the same bullshit, or else it's going to be the same bullshit.
I think that right there. I think he's got to clean the slate, start over fresh. And I know it sucks because there are some of the actors in this that like were, I don't know, you could say perfect for the role. Henry Cavill, I was okay with the Superman portrayals that he had. I wasn't a fan of the movies. But he was fine. Like, I'm not a huge Superman fan though, but I'm always interested in new takes on characters. Like, I like when they do like Elseworlds kind of comics, or just Flashpoint, all the Flashpoint stuff that they did several years ago. I'm okay with getting a reboot of a universe. I think that with how Marvel or DC's doing their Flashpoint stuff and Marvel is doing all their time travel and multiverse stuff that they're doing, I think we are in a time and age that we can have stuff that's on a continuity, where this Batman and this Superman team up together, but you could also do another Batman and Superman story off on the side that doesn't have to do with the rest of the story, because I think people are smart enough to be like, okay, that's not part of this universe.
I wouldn't give him that much credit, but the people that are into it would know, immediately. So.
I just remember at a point in time, like when the MCU was kicking off, people at work would ask me like, if DC characters were part of the like they didn't understand. They didn't understand. So like, when are we going to get Batman with Spider-Man? Like, no, it's not. That's not how.
Work like that.
Yeah, it's not. So I think people are now understanding like there's different companies, and now how much they're introducing this multiverse thing, and people are more on the inside of like, oh well, Disney didn't own the rights to certain characters because Fox had them. So I think there's people who are more on the end of it now. I'm excited to get a clean slate. It's a bummer with everything that happened with Black Adam and the Henry Cavill stuff because
didn't they lose a bunch of money with Black Adam?
Yeah, so the thing about what's going on, and that's why everybody is so mad, because they just stirred it back up, right? So Black Adam was a movie that they've been working on for a really long time, got delayed a few times. The Rock came out and said like he's gonna change the way that the DC thing works, right? Because he's like, he wants to put it back on track, right? So he has been working on this movie for a long time. He ends up spoiling the movie the week it comes out on Jimmy.
That's what?
On Jimmy Kimmel, I think. It was either Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon. And he ends up spoiling it, and he's like, I think that y'all are going to be excited to stay after the credits to see someone show up, because Black Adam might be the most powerful person on the planet, but he's not the most powerful person in the universe, and someone's going to show up. And like everyone in the world is just like, wait, is he talking about Superman? And then that was before the movie even came out. So a bunch of people went to the theater just to see like this post-credit scene with Superman, which apparently The Rock went to the head of DC and was like, you got to bring him back. You got to bring him back. Everybody wants Superman. So the messed up thing about it is like The Rock caused everybody to be like all eyes on Henry Cavill as Superman again. But then when they hired James Gunn's like, well, dude, I'm going to try and fix this whole fucking mess y'all got going on. So he immediately fired everyone and was like, we're going to start fresh. And that's the only way to get this shit popping off again. So that's why everybody's mad. And there's already people being like, boycott James Gunn and all this shit. But the funny thing about all of the stuff with The Rock is there was even a point in time, and we're not going to focus on this too much, but there was even a point in time where The Rock came out before the James Gunn drama happened, and he released false information about how Black Adam made more money than everyone's talking about. But everyone immediately was like, no, this isn't true. He's just trying to like inflate and fluff the numbers to make everyone support it more, which it just wasn't true. It was like a flop. It was like pretty much a failure. So then that's what got the ball rolling for like DC to hire James Gunn, and James Gunn to be like, we're rebooting this whole shit because it's a fucking garbage fire. So another thing, just like I said, we're not going to try and focus on this very much. We have a couple more things to talk about. But another thing that did happen was there's this guy. Hold on one sec. Let me find this shit. There's a guy on this website called Den of Nerds, and he reports a lot of information about, comic book news and movies and stuff like that. And where is it? I guess maybe I didn't find it. Anyways, what happened was like he was reporting on the situation, but he posted something about how James Gunn hates Henry Cavill. Then they started going at each other on Twitter, and he was like, hey, that's not true. I love Henry Cavill. And then the guy from Den of Nerds was just like, well, I've been told a lot of this stuff that you hate him. And then James Gunn on Twitter was like, well, I heard you're getting kicked out of your mom's basement for being a little bitch or something like that. And then it just blew up, and it just became a whole part of like this Henry Cavill shit. But I just think it was so funny that to think about James Gunn, famous movie director, sitting around in his like LA mansion being like, oh yeah, well, I heard you're a little bitch and you're getting kicked out of your mom's basement or whatever.
Dude, I respect that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I like Henry Cavill as Superman. Here it is. He just said, you just got kicked out of your mom's basement. And he said that on Twitter, and everybody was like, wait, is that true? And then the dude was like, no, he's just talking shit like I was. Whatever. But yeah, I mean, I just think that a lot of people, fandom has gotten out of hand nowadays because,
like you've always said, nobody's ever happy.
Yeah, no one is ever happy. And even with like the DC movies, they're like hot garbage, and people are still like, no, I want my garbage. I want more of my garbage.
I can't handle any DC movie. Like after the first Suicide Squad,
it's unfortunate.
So
it really
bad.
is. It's crazy that you can make so many bad movies,
especially when they're written for you.
Yeah, just adaptate the ones that are there. There's plenty of stories. There's like 70 years of Batman stories you can go off of. 75, 70, 80, whatever.
Something crazy. But it's just wild to think that like people in Hollywood that are sitting around with like millions of dollars in their bank account are like, you know, I would read these comics and adapt them, but I kind of want to write my own shitty story and make that a thing. So, but yeah, I don't know. Like, let us know in the comments if you even care about Henry Cavill, because I mean, I love the dude. He's sick. He loves nerd shit. He's fucking standing by all sorts of nerd shit. He even quit The Witcher season 3 because he was like, y'all aren't adapting the source material. Like, so he was like, yo, I quit if y'all aren't going to keep, you know, adapting what's there.
Is he going back to it now?
No, but I think it's a funny meme. I saw a meme that was just like, hello, Witcher people, can I get my job back?
That sucks.
He's kind of boned in that whole situation.
Yeah. But yeah, moving on. Let's